Yes, A Brown is back. A Brown Advice. Well, Brown Advice. Originally, it was A Brown Advice. Believe it or not, it was. But somehow, I made an account, then I deleted it, and then I tried to get A Brown Advice, but I wasn't able to get the username. But Brown Advice. But I'm blessed. I'm here. I'm here to give another advice. Try to, I hope you're paying attention to what I'm telling you. Hope you're not listening to just the words just to come out my mouth. I hope you're able to actually comprehend and absorb the information that I'm giving you, right? So basically what we're going to talk about today is as far as popularity and athleticism, how they both play a role, right? So depending on the athlete that you are, certain athletes have more recognition than others because there's different tiers as far as being an athlete. You can be the best athlete in your school. You can be the best athlete in your region. You can be the best athlete in the world, right? But that's every athlete's dream, is to be the best athlete in the world. The greatest of all time, the greatest. Be remembered. When you die, they're always gonna remember you. When you die, they're always gonna talk about you. And then that's where you have a conversation in like the barbershop, the football field, on the soccer field, on who's better than other. That's what makes somebody really great. So when it comes to like certain tiers as far as becoming an athlete and having like the most recognition, depending on the type of athlete that you are, certain athletes have more recognition than others, which means that certain athletes just have to gain more popularity than others. So for instance, like if an athlete's like good at their school, when they go to like a different school, they have to prove themselves at a different school only because they're at a certain tier. So, but if an athlete's good in like their region, right? That means they can go in all the schools in the region and they are still the best athlete. They are still the top tier athlete. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to certain tiers, they don't really have to prove themselves as much as far as somebody who's only the best like in their school or even on the team, right? You're the best on the team, but like, it's just like, well, there's some more homework that you need to do, so that's why it's always good to just strive and become the best athlete. When it comes to athleticism world, it's always good to just really strive and become the best. I'm telling you, like, as far as the world of sports, this the drive, and just the drive and the sweat and everything, just to be able to just don't stop and just keep grinding, and the thing is, when you keep winning, it's that you get like this high to where it's just like, yo, nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop me. Especially when you get like that first ring or that first trophy. It's just when you look at it, it's just like, okay, this is just the beginning. Based upon my experience as far as my first time becoming a champion, I was just like, wow, like this feels good. This feels good. And then you just get more recognition, So when you really strive and have the ambition to become better and better and better at what you do, you gain way more popularity. People start to get to know you. People start looking at you. People want you to be on their team. People want you to sponsor them. There's several different avenues to where you can, as far as becoming the best, people want your attention. People want you to be part of their brand. There's so many different ways to where it's just like when you're like the best of the best, you represent them as best as you can, and as best as they can as well. So that's the perks as far as becoming the top tier athlete. Like the mediocre, like the medium athlete, yes, you do get recognition, but then again, it's just like you get certain brands to where it's just like, okay, well, this brand is going to give you but so much money, right? For example, like Abby Steiner, right? Abby Steiner was signed to Puma. She got a $3 million deal with Puma, right? As far as her times were phenomenal. She was a 200 runner. She specialized in 200. She ran the 400, but she definitely specialized in the 200. She went to Kentucky, University of Kentucky. She was a great runner. She had injuries prior to her when she did AAU. Before she was a a college track and field athlete, she had some major injuries, I think, with her knee. So she was going through like trials and tribulations and going through, a few obstacles as far as to getting her knee back. But when she was able to get her knee back and through rehab and being able to, get back on track and to run like the best times they can be, she did phenomenal in the indoor, as far as indoor events, so, but basically what I'm trying to come across as far as her being signed to Puma, right? So versus Nike, Adidas, I think you have like Brooks. Depending on the type of athlete you are, you get signed to certain depending on the type of athlete you are, you get signed to certain brands, So like getting signed to Nike is definitely one of the most, Nike and Adidas is definitely, I mean, when it comes to track and field, I'm not sure about as far as like the different type of sports, but when it comes to track and field, it depends on your time. So if you run a certain time in a certain event, certain brands will sign you only because you're able to represent them depending on how good you are as an athlete, right? So as far as in the track and field world, that's what I know for sure. But I think like basketball and football is kind of different, who you get signed to. So, but as far as like in the track and field world, that's what it comes to. That's definitely what it comes to. So, just far as when you're up here, right? It's like everybody's right here, but you're up there, which means that you don't really need to show a lot of proof when you're the best of the best. It's just like, okay, you have a name for yourself, So it's just like when you're the top tier athlete, it's less stressful only because it's just like you have that inner beast in you to where it's just like, okay, I got this, that's based upon my experience, So, it's pretty much as far as when you're a GOAT and when you walk into the room, everybody knows that, okay, yeah, we know who that is. We know who that is, and that's like that's what's the strongest energy that you can have as far as with popularity, So, as far as just becoming a GOAT, a pure GOAT, and just being able just to be talked about when you're gone, or just to be compared to other athletes in the past that have did what you did and strive to become the best like what you did, right? That have been long gone and passed away and to be talked about is perfect. That's just a beautiful thing, and that's always, like for example, like look at like Lyles. Lyles is a prime example, He's being compared to Bolt. He's being compared to Johnson. He specialized in 200. He was a 400 runner. He's compared to like other Tyson Gay, some other Jamaican athletes like Asafa Powell. There are some other Americans that were good as well. Gatlin, he was good. Bolden, he specialized in the, I believe it was a 200 or 100 though, but, and the time, I think I remember when Michael Johnson, when he saw him beat his record by like, I think like by 0.01, I believe it was a 19, what did he run in 200? It was a 96 Olympics. He ran what did he run? 200. He ran a 1930, I believe. And I think Noah Lyles got it by like 0.01 second though. But it was just, mind blowing just to see somebody be on the same level in the same tier as you, So it was just like, just to see Michael Johnson's face, it was just like, wow, and you get so much respect with other athletes. That's the best part. That's really the best part, is just gaining respect from other GOATs. That's lovely, that's definitely is pretty good. But that's my advice to you. Just to wrap it up, as far as what the key components is, that when you're the top tier athlete, you gain the most respect and you're always talked about. and that's always good, you know, is to become the best of the best. And that's what the point is. And when you just have that inner beast, and when you have that, like that first championship, or that first medal, or that first trophy, it's just like, okay, this is just the beginning. You know, you're hungry for it, you know? So that's what it is. You know, the better you are an athlete, the more popularity you gain and the more recognition you get. But that's Brown advice, you know, another day, another advice, a better advice, the best advice. But I'll go ahead and get up with you. All right, man.